cannot condone this. And so, and I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have been engaged in making sure that people and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I'm able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that there's thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do. Okay?
Mr. President, do you think this was an assassination?
Do we have that?
I don't know enough to. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried for your own safety? Was the security failing, Mr. President?
So President Biden speaking, back with CNN's Evan Perez. Evan, just in terms of the investigation, who is in lead? Is it the Secret Service that is the lead agency on this? Evan is talking to his sources. John Miller is standing by with us. John, talk about what the latest on what you're hearing.
So the Secret Service has the lead on this for the moment, which is to protect the president, rescue the president, get him care, and meet that threat, which apparently is what happened. The gunman who was on a low rooftop outside the event, shooting from that low rooftop over the stands there, is dead. At this point, the FBI comes in. The FBI will assume the larger investigation, working hand in glove with the Secret Service. They're going to bring in their crisis management team, their critical incident response group. A lot of FBI resources are heading to meet the agents from the Pittsburgh field office because they have to go about finding out who is this dead gunman, where does he live, get a search warrant for that residence, get a search warrant for all his phones, electronics, accounts. They've got to delve into him and figure out, is he acting alone first and foremost?
Hey, John,
was he working with others?
John, I'm going to come back to you shortly. I have on the phone right now the Butler County District Attorney, Richard Goldinger. Mr. District Attorney, I'm sorry we're talking in these circumstances. Can you tell us anything you know about what happened, what is happening right now?
Well, thanks for having me, Anderson. I don't know a whole lot more than what has already been reported. I can confirm that there is one spectator that has passed away. There is a second that is in serious condition that was taken to a local hospital, and that the shooter is dead.
And is it clear to you the exact location of where the shooter was, how he was able to get a shot? I mean, it doesn't seem that he would have gone through the magnetometers, obviously.
No, he was outside of the grounds, so to speak. So, quite frankly, I don't know how he would have gotten to the location where he was, but he was outside the grounds, and I think that's something that we're going to have to figure out how he got there.
In terms of the scene right now, how many people are still on scene? It's obviously an active crime scene, but I know there's a lot of rally attendees. It's hard to get everybody out of there. Yeah,
it's chaos. I mean, I have been told it is chaos, and it's just I can't even give you a number of people that are there, but it's really crazy right now.
And you don't have any information on the identity of the alleged shooter?
I have not been given any of that information yet, and I'm not sure that we know that at this point.
When you saw this, what did you think? I mean, this is an act like this is not something we have seen in a long time in this country.
I was saying we haven't seen this since Reagan in 1980, and it's mind blowing. Maybe we got a little lackadaisical about it, that this wouldn't happen to a president or a former president, but it's crazy. And I mean, sadly, maybe it's just the state of our current political situation. But I mean, you just wouldn't even think it would happen, especially in where I live in Butler County. You would not expect this.
Can you talk a little bit about Butler County? I know it's, I'm not sure how north of Pittsburgh it is, but can you just talk a little bit about the community?
Sure. So, I mean, we are literally the county directly north of Allegheny County, which is where Pittsburgh is situated. We are about 65% Republicans. It is partially rural. So it used to be a farming community, but now Pittsburgh has moved north. We have some more, I call it urban sprawl, so to speak, in the southern part of our county. So it's pretty diverse in that sense.
Richard Goldinger, I appreciate your time. And again, I'm sorry it's under these circumstances. We'll continue to check in with you. Thank you. Wolf?
Thank you, Anderson.
Anderson, thank you. The Pennsylvania Republican Senate candidate, David McCormick, was there at this rally in Pennsylvania. He's an eyewitness to what had unfolded. He's joining us right now. David, thank you so much for joining us. Give us your eyewitness account of what you saw, what you heard, and what you believe happened.
Yeah, well, thank you, Wolf. I was in the front row, so the president was speaking out to the crowd. Looked like a big crowd. I think I was told 15,000 or so, and I was seated to his right in the front row, and he had actually just announced me and invited me up to the stage, and then said, "No, I'll have you come up in a few minutes." And about a minute or so after that, we heard a series of shots. I think 7 or 8 shots. It was just pop, pop, pop. I was a former Army guy. They sounded like a small caliber weapon, but obviously I'm not sure about that. And it was like all of a sudden just chaos. The Secret Service immediately covered the president, jumped on top of him, and the crowd obviously all went immediately to the ground, to people on their knees or laying down on the ground. And then the president got up and sort of was surrounded by the Secret Service. And you see this, you could see him just with a little bit of blood on him, and his sort of fist came out in defiance. And then over my shoulder behind me, it was clear that somebody had been hit. And so people around this gentleman were trying to administer first aid, and he was clearly, this person was clearly injured. It seemed severely. There was a lot of blood, and eventually some police officers came up and carried him to where I hope he got the urgent care, and obviously praying for him now. So that was what I saw. I saw the immediate attack on the president, and I saw the fact that this person behind me was injured. But you can imagine with that kind of incident happening, very hard to know what's coming. In fact, I'm not sure whether it was one shooter or two shooters. I couldn't really tell. It seemed like the shots were coming from my front, so to from the president's left, but which would have made sense why the person behind me was hit. But I'm not sure if there was also shots coming from other directions. So it was, as you might imagine, it was chaotic and confusing in the moment.